So, I am relatively new here and I would love a story time. How did you get into this field? Hi, Lisa. Thank you for asking this question. It's my pleasure to give you a little bit of a story time and tell you how I got into this field. So, yes, I was engaged and in a very abusive, painful, horrific relationship where he cheated. And I worked very hard to try to put it back together. I really, really wanted that relationship to work because on paper, it was everything I ever wanted. And I really thought we could. So I started working with a therapist. He went once or twice. And eventually, the relationship fell apart. He really didn't want it. He didn't want to do anything differently. And he ultimately left me. And in hindsight, it was a real gift because it allowed me to go on and do so many other really important things. And he is not a bad person. It's just complicated. And we have this agreement that I'm not going to talk very much about him and he's not going to talk very much about me. And so I will leave it at that, but just tell you that that experience was transformational for me. And I can remember how incredibly painful it was. And it sort of piqued my interest in wanting to work with couples. So, I finished graduate school, I got married. My husband, Daryl, is, we've been married for 25 years now, and he is, for sure the love of my life and gives me a lot of energy and support and love to do what I do and take care of all of you. And, the early part of my career, I was really focused a lot on domestic violence and child abuse and reporting child abuse. In fact, and also anger and kids who were dealing with a lot of anger. I worked with the Department of Justice to write some training manuals for teachers and other first line responders about domestic violence and child abuse. So very early on, my career was very focused on abuse and reporting abuse. And then as time went on and I started my private practice, I realized I needed to get out of that world. It was just too dark and too painful. And that one way I could perhaps prevent a lot of that pain was by helping families heal. And I believed then, and I still believe, that a strong family is, and a strong relationship is our best defense against all sorts of other painful behaviors. So I started working exclusively with couples, and I was seeing a lot of affairs. And there wasn't a lot of training materials at the time for how to help people with affairs. And I thought, this is wild. I mean, there's got to be people out there who research affairs, who have figured out how to help these people who are struggling. And so that's when I came across the Gottman's work and Sue Johnson's work and really started to implement a lot of those practices. And then I ended up becoming kind of an affair specialist. All my friends and colleagues would refer affair couples to me. And so for about, I want to say the last 20 years, maybe it's 18, but it's somewhere in there, all I have seen are people healing from affairs. And I truly love it because I feel now like I have hiked over Affair Mountain so many times that I can really give good guidance on how to do this, and I can anticipate what pitfalls are likely to come, and I can share with people what has worked, what hasn't worked. So it's my great pleasure and my honor to help people get over Affair Mountain. And if you're at the start of that journey, welcome. I'm here to support you, whether you decide to stay or go. And if you do decide to stay, I want you to know that it can absolutely get better, and you will not always feel this way. And there's so much goodness that can come on the other side of this. So hope that helps. Nice to meet you again, and I look forward to seeing you in our community.